All right, we're live. Hey, everybody, this is Bradley Benner with Semantic Mastery. I'm just kidding. This is Hernan Vasquez. How are you guys doing? We're taking over the SEO, the weekly SEO Q&A called Hump Day Hangouts for the 22nd of February today, because our beloved Bradley and the good old Adam, they're out there in Dallas right now for the fun of hacking live. So I'm pretty sure that if they could, they would join. They would probably join later on if they're not too in-depth in a conference or whatever. I have to say some comments. But in the meantime, we're taking over. So we have a bunch of announcements. We have a bunch of questions today. But before going in, I want to say hello to my two partners, two friends here. Hey, Marco, how are you doing?
Hey, man, what's up? If I can just change what you said a little bit, we're not taking over HDHO. We're actually taking over the world.
Right. There you have it. More to come, because we're going to talk a little bit about that in a second. And there's also Chris. How are you doing, Chris?
Doing good here.
Okay. All right. Okay, guys. So we have a bunch of questions, but before, I just wanted to make a couple of quick announcements. If you haven't done yet and you haven't signed up for the Video Powerhouse video series that we have put together, I recorded and we put together with Adam. It's super interesting. We share a lot of interesting information over there. So if you haven't done yet, go ahead and do so. I'm going to share the link on the events page so that you guys can join and start checking out that series, that video series that I recorded with the help of Adam. And it's basically, it's a lot of good information. Some of it you guys are already familiar with. Some of it maybe you're not, because we go in depth about the importance and the kind of the opportunity that we have as marketers using video marketing, which is huge. You know, like Semantic Mastery is built on the basis of video marketing pretty much. So, and then, you know, I go about different businesses that are also using and leveraging the power. And the funny thing about it is that I read something crazy, like 20% or something, not even that, like 12% of small businesses across the USA are using video marketing to promote their services and products, you know, and they're not using YouTube, they're not using Google. So basically, that's one of the reasons why we created Video Powerhouse, which again, we are relaunching really soon. And it's going to be a super limited launch. Okay, guys. So it's going to be a super limited launch. We are only going to take so much people in, and then we're going to close the gates. All right, because we don't want to stress or overstress the networks, and we have been working hard for the past 12 to 18 months, I would say, with the guys at SerpSpace. So it's going to be a killer. And again, there's a huge opportunity for each of us to tap into the market. So I would suggest that you go ahead, sign up for that video series. And also, you know, pay good attention to your email for the next couple of days, I would say, for next week in particular, because we're relaunching Video Powerhouse. It's going to be good. We have a lot of websites, and it's super powerful. So that's one thing. The other thing is that if you guys do not know already, ECVSL 3.0 is launching shortly. And, you know, I've been using ECVSL, I would say, for the past year or so, and it's super interesting for the guys out there that need to, you know, really easy solution when it comes to creating video sales letter. If you guys been following us around, you know that we have been using video sales letters for pretty much all of our products, and you don't have to be this interesting. You do not have to be like an internet marketer, or you do not have to be in the digital space to use video sales letter. You know, if you combine the power of YouTube and video marketing with a really good video sales letter that you can rank on Google and YouTube, you can have a killer combo, okay? So video sales letters, you can use them for sell, local services, digital, physical products, whatever you want to do. And the reality is that there's kind of, I feel that sometimes there's kind of these technological, I would say that you need to use a lot of tools, you know, to get a really good video sales letter. Well, actually, ECVSL solves that. And that's exactly what I've been using it for over the past couple of months, if you would, pretty much all of last year, because it makes creating video sales letter a really, really good process and easy to use, etc., for the guys that are not technical out there and you don't want to be using, I don't know, Adobe Premiere or whatever you're using for video editing, or you do not want to hire a video guy. This is a good thing. And there's a bunch of advancements when it comes to the 3.0 version. Like, for example, right now you have speech to text video creation. You have an embedded, this is interesting, you have an embedded audio recorder within that software. So you do not need to go out or bring your audio from another software. You can do it within video sales letters, and there's a bunch of other things. But another good thing is that you can do this new kind, they call it kinetic style videos, which are, moving fonts, if you would, within the video, which are really cool for engagement, and they grab a lot of attention. And I've been seeing more and more products and services being represented and being, and using these kind of videos. So there's a bunch of advancements, and it's pretty inexpensive for what it does. So I'm gonna also put the link here so that you can join. It's semanticmastery.com, semanticmastery.com/ECVSL, semanticmastery.com/ECVSL, and it's there on the events page as well. So that's that. Then another announcement that we had is that we're moving forward with the traffic agency. We mentioned it briefly last week. The idea of a traffic agency that could, because we have a lot of people actually wanting to implement PPC, mostly Facebook campaigns, Facebook PPC and YouTube ads initially, and then AdWords PPC as well. And we will be moving forward. If any of you guys are needing to get those needs covered, the paid advertising or the traffic covered, just ping us. You can join as a beta testers if you would. And as Adam put it last week, it's not like we're gonna be taking it over from a professional standpoint, but we need to build the entire structure. That's why we're taking it at cost beta testers for the service. So just ping us at support@semanticmastery.com. That's gonna be good. Initially, we're gonna be starting with, I think, Facebook advertising and YouTube ads. Then we're gonna move into PPC in general, retargeting, maybe email marketing. We have our resident email marketing expert, Chris, over here. So that's something that we're planning to do as well. So, Marco, I know that you have been deep in the lab, man, over the past several weeks. Do you wanna tell us a little bit what's that all about? I know that you're happy. I can feel it in your voice.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible. We discovered that GSA still works. We made actual garbage spam links work. Not saying how. That's coming, right? I have to keep something under my hat. I can't reveal how, but it still works, and it still works really well, because we hit, just today, number one in a major metropolitan area for a hyper competitive keyword. We're not going after these long tail keywords that hardly anyone wants, where there's hardly any money, and say, oh, look, we can rank for this. How about we show you how to outrank Angie's List, Yelp? How about that? When was the last time someone was able to say, yeah, we were able to take them down? You don't hear that very often. We've been able to do it. We're looking at the tests. As you know, we're continuously testing. We're constantly in the lab, and we're just searching just different paths and ideas. And the only way that you can go from theory to practice is through testing, right? Because I see all of these people posting all of this garbage that people believe in all of these different groups and in these masterminds and these gurus, and now we have these child prodigies, these young guns that are supposed to be coming up, and they're supposed to be the shit and can rank anything, and they're feeding people garbage. And it just amazes me that people fall for it. What we give you, we've tested, and we've tested it. We tested on our own stuff. So that's what you get at the end. You don't get something that we have no clue whether it works. We're actually checking every day, every single day. We're in there and looking and seeing how to improve it, and how to rank even better, and how to eliminate the competition. And that's what we're after. Domination, total market domination, man.
All right, very good. Very good. We're eager to see what you guys can come up with. So that's gonna be a lot of fun. All right. So if that's it with announcements, we have a solid 15 minutes of questions that we can go through. So I'm gonna share my screen real quick. I'm gonna lose you guys for a minute when I do, but bear with me for a second. So, all right, there we go. Just let me know when you can see my screen.
Yeah, we're seeing your screen now.
Okay, very good. So let's jump right into questions. So Ben says, hey guys, if I'm buying a deleted domain to use for a 301 redirect, as long as the main keyword is in the domain, does the link profile matter, even if the domain has low PA, DA, trust flow, citation flow? After pointing saved links with high PA, DA, trust flow, citation flow, that will transfer through. Is that correct? Well, Ben, yeah, from a theoretical standpoint, that is correct. The reality is that the link profile from a deleted domain does matter when you're doing a 301 redirect. That's why we suggest that when you're doing a Switchbox SEO domain, like purchasing a domain strictly for doing a 301, I would go with a blank slate domain, a virgin domain that hasn't been touched before. We're saying that because the only reason that you're actually buying that domain is because you want to have detachable link shoes, meaning you want to point it to target A today, but tomorrow you want to point it to somewhere else, or you want to kill it. However, the history of that domain, and if it has actual backlinks, it will skew your results. It will impact your results, okay? That's why we are saying that if you're trying to do this strictly from a Switchbox SEO style of, from a Switchbox SEO perspective, that is doing this from a 301 perspective only, I would go with a completely pristine new domain that you're positive that hasn't been used before. You can go for you can use a main keyword, but that's not relevant actually. What's relevant is that, it's a 301, it's a pure 301, not a 302 or whatever other thing you're trying to do. It's a pure 301, number one. And number two, all of the history of that domains need to be blank. Like it, even better if it has absolutely no history, because again, the links and the history of that domain will impact in the 301 that you're doing, in the target. And you do not want that. You want it to be kind of a mirror, if you would, or a switchbox, a real switchbox. After pointing saved links with high PADA trust flow citation flow, that will transfer through. Is that correct? Yeah, it will. A portion of it will transfer, not 100% of it will transfer, because there are some link shoes loss on the 301. That's my experience anyways. But after doing that, most of it will transfer, but only if the domain, again, is a blank slate. It has to be a brand new domain, because again, the link profile will matter if you're doing a 301. Do you have any comments on this, Marco? Like on the 301 side of things?
Yeah, I'm a little confused by the question. If it's simply to mirror the website where it's a straight switchbox, then yeah, I mean, you're just better off just buying a domain and making it brand new and mirroring whatever website it is that you're redirecting the juice at, because the purpose for this is to be able to shut it off at will, or to point it at another website, a PBN or whatever. That's the purpose of a switchbox, if that's what he's talking about. And if not, then of course the link profile is going to matter. It's going to matter a lot, because if you have garbage links, that's what you're passing through. And so yeah, that's going to make a big difference. It doesn't have to have the main keyword, because it's a 301. I mean, you're going to take everything that on the website that you're pointing at, and you're going to build it on the website that's going to be 301, and then you're going to 301 page by page, right? And then you're going to do all of your SEO through that 301 for protection. That's how I'm reading this. Because that link profile, that's what throws me off. Yes, of course it's going to matter, but it depends on what it is that you're doing.
Right. Yeah, I guess it depends, Ben. If you're purchasing a 301, because we have been using blue chip backlinks, for example, to purchase these domains that have great backlinks, but we are searching for that link profile. Even if it is one backlink from CNN, for example, or Wikipedia. So yeah, it does matter. So number 2 also is the registration level redirect just as effective as a hosting level redirect? Is one better than the other for passing links along? Well, good question. In my experience, the htaccess redirect is faster, to pass link shoes. I don't know why, but I've seen results faster, and I've seen a couple of people actually reporting back the exact same thing. And you need to be careful with the registration level redirect, because sometimes, as I mentioned before, it's not a pure 301. For example, on GoDaddy, GoDaddy, if you redirect, they will not give you advanced redirect options like Namecheap does, for example. So GoDaddy will give you a 301 sometimes and a 302 sometimes. You know what I mean? So if you want to be 100% positive that you have a 301 redirection in place, you would be better off using htaccess or hosting level redirect. Number 3, if I'm ranking a video, do you have to bother with a 301 redirect? I'm not sure what you're asking here. If you're ranking a video and you want to do like direct save to it, I will still purchase these cheap domains like .xyz or .link domains, and you have a bunch of new domains with new extensions that you can use. You can just spend like $1 per year per domain and have a complete switchbox set if you would. Do you have to bother with a 301 redirect? You can point save directly with video, but as we always said, if you deem your video worthy or your channel and you are doubtful about pointing save directly to video, I would do a 301. Just put a 301 in between. And that's pretty much it. Then you can detach if anything goes wrong. So we hadn't have any issues so far with save directly to videos, but again, so far we don't know what's going to happen like 6 months, even 3 months down the road. So in any case, you should use a 301 redirect.
Yeah, if I'm doing YouTube, I usually make YouTube 301.
Mm-hmm.
I make YouTube, so I'll do the HTTP to HTTP, right? Because it redirects to HTTPS. I just make sure that it's a 301 and not a 302, and then spam it that way.
Right. Also, Marco, great Facebook post, great article. I think I starting to get my head around SEO. Working on becoming a mastermind member soon. Thanks, Ben. We'll be eager to have you on the mastermind. What post is he referring to, Marco? Like, did you make a post recently?
Yeah, I posted
any of the group.
Yeah, I posted in our Facebook groups about the relationship between IFTTT SEO and RYS Academy Drive Stacks. How they're not mutually exclusive, how they react differently, but we use them, but they can be used for the same purpose. So I did a post about that because there was some questions about whether to even do RYS, if I remember correctly. And so I went in and I posted. It turned out into a really long comment, and so I thought it was good enough to post in all of our groups. So sometimes I do that. I'll start flowing and writing and explaining why, and then I'll just go and share so that everyone can benefit. Nice. So that's one of the benefits of getting into either IFTTT SEO, Masterclass, Mastermind, RYS Academy. You get the benefit that we often go in there and post for the benefit of the groups.
Yep, I agree. All right, Joshua says, what are your thoughts on putting Drive sites or G sites as the website for Google My Business? I will definitely leave Marco to answer this one. Have you tried that?
We do it all the time. Not Drive sites, of course, because that was deprecated. You can no longer host sites in Drive. But you can do G sites, and we definitely all of the time use them as Google My Business. It's what I mean. You're stacking Google properties. Why would the question would be, why wouldn't you put a G
Right.
site where you built it the way that we do, right? To make it look good, and we put the CTAs in place, phone number, the NAP, everything's in place for conversion purposes. And so yeah, it's an excellent companion to your Google My Business.
Follow-up question: once a stack is complete, are you sending links to the folder or to each property created? PDF, GDoc, etc.
Yes, meaning we do everything.
Right. Yeah.
So if okay,
Yeah.
so
Basically.
let me just
Go
go a
ahead. Go
little
ahead.
bit further. What happens is, if you order link building from us, when you order the drive stack, the VA will go in and set up the drive stack. Once that's done, it gets turned over to the link builder, and he knows exactly what to do. You have to remember, we've been doing this for over a year now, the done for you services. So the process is pretty much like auto. One VA does his thing, it gets turned over to link builder. Link builder knows exactly what to do, and to which properties, and which amounts, and the drip rate. And so that's how it's done. And then once that's all done, I think that a partial report is done on the link building that was done. So you get all that.
Right. Yep. That's basically it. There you have it. So we build links to pretty much everything. That's the main idea, no? That's the main idea. So Earl says, many of my local clients have m.url subdomains for mobile. I have traditionally spent bulk of my efforts getting the url.com site to rank, with expectations that their health would also support the m. version. What additional should I be doing to support the mobile version, with an eye to its map placements and overall visibility on mobile? Well, good question, Earl, and I'll give my input, and maybe Marco can chime in on this too. But the way subdomain works is that they are kind of different entities. You know, they are taken as different entities, and it would all depend on how your website is set up. So, for example, on some websites, like some templates or some website builders, for example, they will have the mobile version set up automatically. So if the browser detects or the website detects that you're visiting from a subdomain, from a mobile phone, you will get automatically redirected to the m. version. Okay, so that's kind of how it's working. Now, what you could have is a completely HTML or whatever it is, like a strictly mobile version, like a mobile template of the website on the m. version. That is, that would be a completely separate WordPress.com website with a mobile theme. Okay. That's being kind of deprecated as far as I know, because, right now with responsive themes and responsive landing page builders like ClickFunnels, lead pages, whatever you're doing, they're all responsive. So you do not need to have an m. Subdomain anymore for people to get redirected. That used to happen when we didn't have responsive themes, and usually the websites used to look like really, really bad on mobile. But that's not the case anymore, because again, you can visit the same web page from mobile and desktop and tablet PCs, and the theme will be automatically optimized, I would say, for the width of the screen. Now, with that being said, what you could do is to actually build links to the m. version. You can, if it is a completely separate entity, meaning if you have the ability of going, add schema, and maybe you add the AMP plugin that we have developed with Semantic Mastery, or have an accelerated mobile page on that subdomain, I would strongly suggest that you do so, because again, if you want to do maps placement and visibility on mobile, you need to understand now, Earl, that I would say 60% of the traffic that goes through Google or Facebook is mobile. So if it's treated differently from the main domain, meaning that you have the ability of go in and actually tweak the code from that subdomain, you can build links. You can treat it as an additional property. as we would, as I would, for example, if I set up different money sites on subdomains, I would treat them completely differently. Like, of course, if you focus on getting the url.com site to rank, that will benefit the subdomain and vice versa. That's why subdomains are still really, really powerful. So I would focus on building links and local directories that can point back to the m.version of the website. But that would be kind of a short-term approach. As a longer-term approach, I would definitely, start educating your local clients to get a responsive domain and a responsive theme, on the same domain, so that way everything falls under the same domain, and you do not need to do kind of two SEO campaigns, one for mobile, one for desktop. Does that make sense? Do you want to add anything to that, Marco?
Yeah, if by maps placement he means ranking in the 3-pack, that has absolutely nothing to do with whether the website is mobile friendly, because old G sites, which were totally ranking, are not mobile friendly, if you haven't noticed. And we constantly rank in the 3-pack. We're ranking the map, and we're ranking the verified Google My Business map, and we're sending them to a specific back to the G site, actually, or to it could be whatever landing page you want it to be. So there's different things. From what I read, there's different things going on here. If you're trying to rank in maps, you're trying to rank the map, not the website. But what you could do is send them, as you mentioned, to an m.website.url.com and have that M be an HTML really light, super fast, loads. I blink, and what you would have on there is a click to call button or whatever. But you could have that same thing on your G site or whatever, or on actually. I think you sometimes get that on the map. So there's different things. As you said, if your website is responsive, then it obviates the need for the M version, because Google's going to see it as mobile friendly. You can do the test, right? You can go right to Google and test whether it's mobile friendly now. Mm-hmm. So I don't see I don't see any reason for an M version unless you want to send people to a specific, really fast HTML landing page where they can just go in and take the action that you need them to take. That would be my take on this.
Right. Yeah, I agree. So here's mentioning the mobile-friendly test. This has been around for a while, so I'll put it here on this page so that you guys can check it out. And you can input your URL test here, and it will tell you if it's mobile-friendly or not. If your website is not mobile-friendly, you will also get I think you will also get a note on Webmaster Tools. You need to improve that mobile friendliness, if you would, because again, the results on the mobile side of things and the desktop side of things, they have been different, even more different as we go by.
And just one last thing. If it's mobile friendly and it's still slow, then you could run into problems, which is why you might want to have an HTML landing page, just something just super fast that just load, and that'll take care of some of the speed problems that you're running into. I would also recommend, if there's speed problems, talking to Clint Butler, because he's a master at website speed. So those are the things that I would recommend regarding this. It depends on what he's doing and why.
Yeah. All right. Next one, MMMM. Do you still recommend building sites out on subdomains? Are the main domains still protected from any aggressive SEO done on the subdomain? Would you recommend a site's blog to go on a subdomain, blog.site.com? Any change to this strategy you would use? Thank you. Well, yeah, I mean, we have been mentioning that briefly. We still recommend building sites out on subdomains. The blog.site.com strategy works really well. However, and as we keep saying, we keep repeating, anything worth your while should be protected. So if you have a client website, for example, or if you have a really good money site, or if you have, a really dear project, or even if you're doing a blog for your wife or your girlfriend, believe me, I've been there. If you try to spam a subdomain on those cases, it might work right now, but it would, it won't work. Maybe it won't work 6 months down the road, and your website will get penalized. So that's what we're saying. Treat it with care. Be mindful of the long-term approach. The blog.site.com strategy works really well when your main website is not a WordPress site. When you have a client, for example, as Earl had, like a client that comes with another technology. So or a custom PHP website or an HTML website, and they want you to go ahead and optimize that. And to be honest, I don't have the time to learn a completely new technology. I'm really good with WordPress, and I'm fine. I'm comfortable with WordPress. So what I would do is to just tell them, yeah, you need to install a subdomain, a blog on a subdomain. I have a client right now that we are starting to work together. I'm helping them optimize and develop their website, and their website is completely customized. And they're trying to get me to go into their CMS and see how we can start building a blog, and say, no way, you need to install WordPress on a subdomain, and we'll go from there. So the changes to the strategy, there are not many changes, but be mindful that any spam could come back and bite you in the future. So again, you can use 301s. You can use, tier link building for that IFTTT from the subdomain. You could syndicate to an IFTTT network. There's a bunch of things that you can do to protect that subdomain. If you have a trash domain that you want to test, go ahead, but nothing worthy. John asks, since Google is killing off their My Maps app for good next week, I was wondering if you guys had thought of a workaround for the maps aspect of RYS tags vaporizing. What do you think, Marco?
First of all, he's absolutely wrong. Sorry, but Google is not killing off My Maps. As a matter of fact, it was just redone last year. What was incorporated is the Map Maker app. So I think he got the two confused. My Maps is what's being used right now. It's going to continue to be used. We're going to continue our RYS stacks with My Maps and doing all of the awesome things that we can do through the My Maps. So John, and if you're in RYS Academy, this should have been posted in RYS Academy, by the way, because now people are going to think that RYS stacks are going to stop working because Google is killing off My Maps, which again is not true.
Right. Okay, Brian asks, is there any benefit from using a video-based blog over typed content? It is easier and more engaging to use video. Will the SERPs pick up keywords? Thanks, Brian McKay. Okay, Brian, great question. And it's funny because, we have been talking about the opportunities that you have using video marketing for your business earlier on. And I strongly suggest that you go ahead and submit and sign up rather for that video series, because over there we tap into that particular topic, video marketing. Now, there's a bunch of benefits using a video-based blog over typed content. Number one, videos, they're far more engaging, as you are correctly stating. When using videos, when doing videos, when producing videos, you can reuse the content over and over again. We are a testimonial of that. We are the example of that, because as much as we would like to post more often on Semantic Mastery blog, all of us are quite busy right now. So what we're doing is to transcribe, for example, Hump Day Hangouts, and we have that posted beneath the video on the website. And that's pretty much, what we're doing when it comes to video, to content for the vlog, rather, So what you need to understand is that video marketing and video production has a lot of benefits. One of them, again, being the possibility of reuse the content. Like transcribing the content, you will have your content needs covered for the blog. You can rip the audio and upload them to SoundCloud, for example, and create a podcast. You can, take still shots of the video, and if you're good with Photoshop, you can upload those to Facebook, Instagram, I don't know, whatever you want to do, So that's number one. Number two is that I read, doing this research for the Video Powerhouse series, that 62% of the queries have videos on page one. 62% of the queries, the search queries on Google, have a video in it, on page one. And you will have an increase of 32% in the click-through rate if you start using videos and if you get a video ranked on page number one on Google. Not only that, but Google is the number one search engine in the world, and YouTube is number two search engine in the world. So if you have a video rank on YouTube and if you have a video rank on Google, just imagine the possibilities and the amount of leads that you can get. So it's not only about posting those videos to your website, but it's about the additional traffic that you can get from the video if you are uploading them to YouTube, for example. Because again, you can rank on YouTube. I have a couple of videos rank on YouTube on my own channel. Semantic Mastery has a bunch of videos on page one of YouTube, and those videos then bring a ton of traffic, to Semantic Mastery blog, to these events, etc., etc. So that's another of the benefits. The third benefit is that I haven't seen any kind of video like auto video blogs de-indexed whatsoever yet. I haven't seen any video blogs de-indexed whatsoever yet. Again, yet, because we don't know what's going to happen 6 months down the road. The reality is that Google loves Google. We're using RYS Academy, which are all, pretty much all Google properties, going nuts with that. And YouTube, it's another property that we are optimizing, that we are using to get traffic, but also Google loves YouTube. So I haven't seen a video blog, like a blog or a website that's completely about videos, okay? It hasn't got anything else, like no text, nothing whatsoever, but videos, de-index, getting de-index. So if you have the opportunity, Brian, to make a blog based on videos, I would strongly suggest that you do so. I would only strongly suggest that you go through the video series that we recorded, because there's a huge opportunity and there's a lot of small businesses missing out. And again, you do not need to go through the whole process of creating a professional video. If you have a smartphone, if you have an iPhone, if you have, a Google Nexus, or if you have like the new Google Pixel or whatever, if you have an Android phone or an iPhone, you have a small recording studio in your pocket. So you do not need to go in depth as to hire a video guy or a video crew, etc., etc. Also, if you are camera shy, which could happen, and you're not tagging, if you're not tapping into that because you're camera shy, you can just record the screen, with Camtasia, ScreenFlow, or you can even hire an actor on Fiverr to go through that. So, if any of you guys listening to this now is not going through the trouble, quote unquote, of producing videos for your business and using videos to leverage your business and the traffic, you're really missing out. And there's a window of opportunity right now. That's exactly why we created Video Powerhouse in the first place, because we see the opportunity. Again, one of the foundations of Semantic Mastery success are Hangouts. And guess what? We're using YouTube, live, like YouTube and YouTube Live at the same time, and Google+. So that's one of the foundations of Semantic Mastery. And I think video has a lot of potential. And if you have the opportunity to go ahead and make videos for your company, Brian, you need to squeeze every last drop of traffic out of them. Again, you can reuse that content over and over again. And from 1 hour of our time every week, we are having a ton of results. So again, guys, go ahead, sign up for Video Powerhouse for that series. Go ahead and pay close attention for the launch, because it's gonna be a killing. It's gonna be a killer. Like how many? Well, I don't know if we can actually disclose this, Marco, but about the amount of websites that we have right now on Video Powerhouse. I don't know if we can disclose that.
Sure we can.
Okay.
We have around 3,000 primary domains in spread throughout categories, right? They're all categorized, so you'll be able to go in there if you're in business, if you're in whatever. There's some things that we won't take, porn, of course, that type of crap. We won't accept it. There's a human that actually will go through your video and make sure that it doesn't contain anything that we're not permitting in the network, number one, and that it's English, number two. So right now we're only taking English. In the future, we might do something with other foreign languages. As of now, 3,000 all in categories. To add to that, we're at I think we just broke 600,000 in the secondary embed network. And again, all categorized. And so we have subcategories. So more than likely, you're going to hit your niche. If we don't, then we still have a general category where we have, I think it's around 800 root, 800 domains, 800 primaries. Of course, in the primary embed network, we are building. The build team is busy throwing IFTTT networks around it so that one will actually turn into around 20 embeds, correct? Because it goes into the main domain, and then the IFTTT network will take care of spreading the love around into the IFTTT network. So think of all of the damage that you're going to be able to do using that. You do that, then you go into the secondary embed network and add additional. Oh shit! I'm sorry. I just blanked out. Relevant. I'm sorry. No, additional relevancy, right?
Right.
With the additional embed network. I blanked out for a second, sorry. But yeah, I mean, it's something that we've worked at really, really hard. It's not just a relaunch. It's something that's totally new and unique and very different from what it was. What I would say to him also is that if 62% of results show a video, it doesn't mean that it doesn't show a website, right? Or some other type. So there's actually a double opportunity. There's an opportunity to rank a video and to rank your content. We sometimes, right, we take up 3-4 places in the top 10 with different methods and different properties that we use. So 62% show a video, 38% won't show a video. So you're still going to need content regardless. I think to just hammer this home, do the video, and then just get it transcribed, and you have the content. Very simple.
There you have it. There you have it, Brian. Chad says, hey, Chad, I see a lot of new faces. This is super cool. Hey, Chad, welcome. I'm of the understanding that topical trust flow is no longer as important as it once was. So what are you looking at now that shows you if an entity has authority or not? So before I let Marco, I wanted to give my 2 cents here. Topical trust flow is still a metric that we pay attention to. Not, we haven't been married with any metrics at all. We have been saying that trust flow and topical trust flow, they have been, showing better results for us. But that doesn't mean, Chad, that you should be paying attention only to that in order to show if an entity has authority or not. So, for example, what's the history of that entity? What's the ranking of that entity? How many pages are indexed on Google? How much traffic that entity has? A great, for example, when I'm looking for Web 2.0 networks, and when we are looking for Web 2.0 networks, for example, for IFTTT SEO Academy 2.0 update webinars, we go through SEMrush and we input those networks, and we can see on SEMrush, we can see the ranking history, if you would. So, for example, Pinterest right now is killing it, and you can see if you go to semrush.com, you can see, you can input Pinterest.com, and you can see there's a bunch of page rankings from that domain. So that's telling you that it's quote unquote easier to rank thanks to that. So there's a bunch of things that you can check, chat, and that's where the whole seat set and seat site comes to play. And I'm gonna leave Marco talk a little bit about this too. So what do you think, Marco?
Yeah, from what we've been doing, we build our own seat sites and seat sets, so to speak, with IFTTT or with syndication. That's what we're doing, because we go into websites and Web 2.0s that we know are trusted and authoritative without regards to the topic. Because the Facebook, there is no topic in Facebook. It's multi, correct?
Yeah.
But there's also other things where this is where I when I take on, and I don't know how much of this I should be talking about, but when I take on a coaching student, I charge a lot of money, right? But the one thing that I try to teach them is to think outside the box. You can't pigeonhole yourself into relying on Majestic. What if they're absolutely wrong with their algorithm? What if they're all guessing at Google's algorithm, and nobody knows Google's algorithm except the people that work on it, man. And so what I say is, say you're in the home construction industry, or any type of home service, correct? And you want to quote authority, for example. So we don't recommend doing wiki, because that's what everybody does. So I go really broad, right? I try to go architecture. Architecture is totally relevant, and so maybe so I'll do a quick search on architecture, and I'll come up with the MIT, with the architecture school, with the School of Architecture. And there's a website called architecturaldigest.com, which is considerably authoritative. And I'll look at their, if I can get, I'll quote, I'll link out to MIT. I know I probably can't get a link out of MIT, but I'll try to see who is linking into MIT, and see maybe I can get a link off of those, see which of those are relevant to whatever it is that I'm doing. Now, coming down a little bit further, and I always say this, go to This Old House, go to Bob Vila, go to Home Depot, go to anywhere where you can maybe drop a comment, a good comment, a quality comment, something that adds value to the conversation and that's going to stick, that the mod won't get rid of. Just wherever you can, something that's relevant. So here is where you should be, and what you take from this is that it's relevancy that we're after, not so much metrics, because you can, we know, because we've done it, you can inflate metrics to whatever you want just with pure spam, right? But the relevancy, that's hard to fake, because you know that these websites, these are trusted and authoritative in the niche. That's what we're after.
Right. Okay, so let's see. Jordan is asking who can eat the most brisket tacos. Adam or Bradley going to run a Marco type experiment on this. Go ahead, Jordan. Let us know of your results. That would be fun to see. Ken says, when embedding a map on a Web 2.0 post, is it best to just embed the map by itself like we do with videos, or is it best to have content too? What do you think, Marco? What does your experiment says about this? Like, do you have any piece of content? Do you have any?
No.
Or just the map?
We do special stuff to the iframe.
Right. I would suggest that you vary it a little bit, Ken. I would say that when you're doing, for example, like a video, we would add on Video Powerhouse, for example, we would add a link back to the video and a link back to the playlist or the channel, whatever you decide. But we have no text whatsoever, because again, we are aiming to protect the networks and also to protect the videos, so that's why we don't have any text, any backlinks to external websites whatsoever at all. But you can vary it a little bit and let us know. But yeah, Marco has his secret sauce to get that going.
By the way, just we keep mentioning Video Powerhouse, and we don't mention Maps Powerhouse,
right?
Which is totally available right now inside of surfspace.com.
Mm. Yeah, good point, Marco. Good point. Yeah, Video Powerhouse again, and we had the like its sister would be Map Powerhouse, which that could be a big launch on its own soon. Okay, so peel your eyes. It's available right now. It's available right now, but we don't know how much sooner, how much more before we actually go in there and revamp it. All right, so I think we're really good with questions. Wow, that was a good one. A bunch of people say Video Powerhouse link not working. Earl, Valerie, please check again, because I don't know, maybe SERP space is acting up. It's acting up a bit strange because sometimes it would open, sometimes it won't. So go ahead. If it isn't working, just drop us a link. Just drop us a ticket to support@Semantic Mastery, and we'll hook you up with the link. Brian says, hey, congrats at beating Big G and Yelp. Cool. Links to your video to learn, please. Yeah, Brian, it's over here. Yes, I can, but my idea is to have better SERP stuff. Yeah, that I'm guessing that means to the video, topic that we touch base on. And yeah, definitely. If you can get a video rank on page number 1, you can actually get additional properties, as Marco was mentioning. And that's exactly what we're doing when we're doing RYS Academy, when we're doing IFTTT SEO Academy. Like, we're having a lot of page 1 rankings thanks to that, and your video will be no exception.
Yeah, I mean, we can talk about stacking iframes, right? Because when you do video embeds, all you're doing is you're iframing the video into whatever property you do, which we've proven, we've shown that the juice flows through the iframe back to the origin or the destination. So with the destination being YouTube, the signals that Google is getting is that someone is publishing the video. And so Google loves that because Google loves itself, right?
Right.
Same thing with a map iframe. The map iframe on your property or on any other property goes back to wherever it is in Drive, wherever it is in the GMB list, whatever page it is. Everything will flow there, and this is the beauty. This is the beauty of RYS Academy, guys. We are inside the belly of the beast. We're in there, and yeah, good luck getting us out, because we're in there. We're tickling stuff, man.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, good times.
Carson just asked a question.
Yeah, Carson asked, what would you suggest for getting more local clients? Well, Carson, it's kind of a broad question. But Bradley, actually, he had the the VMail prospecting course revamped, but it's going to be strictly for Video Powerhouse users. So if you get into Video Powerhouse, you can get that course, but I don't think it's going to be available for the public, unless we convince Bradley and Adam otherwise. But initially, that's a really good starting point. Because, again, it will show you step by step how to prospect those local clients, how to get them, how to reach out to them. And it's a really cool strategy. But again, Carson, you need to be part of Video Powerhouse. So I would suggest that you wait until the launch of Video Powerhouse so you can get that. And, then you can rank those videos that you're doing for local clients using Video Powerhouse as well.
I would add that we're on episode 120 of Hump Day Hangouts. That means 120 hours of information. Imagine that. 120 hours of answering questions is available in our YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/Semantic Mastery. Go there, go to the channel search, and just drop your question. How to or do the search, how to get more local clients, or just do local clients, and you'll see how much information comes up just from that. While you're waiting for Video Powerhouse to open, and you should be one of the first in the door, man, because it's just totally going to kill.
Yeah,
I mean, we keep getting into it, but we just put on so much work, so many hours, so much time, so much money. That I mean, how long have we been talking about it since we started, right?
Yeah,
we've been at this for months and months and months, just redoing. I think it was April of last year, April or May when I took over. Yeah, and we decided that we need to redo it. So think about how much time, effort, how much work, how much money's been invested into the back end so that this works for you guys who are doing video. Not only doing video, because this can complement, of course, your website, because iframe on the website will go to YouTube. People in YouTube watching the video, if you've done your cards correctly, if you've done everything, they will click over to the website. So it works just everywhere to bring traffic back to your website or whatever property it is that you have. Wherever you want them to take action, you can lead them.
All right. Okay. So I think that's it. Thank you, guys. It's been a pleasure. It's been amazing. So thank you, guys, once again. We're going to end pretty much near. So let me turn off the screen share off.
Elevate the music for Hernan.
There you have it. Okay. Yeah.
Hernan looks like Bradley.
Yeah, for some reason. Yeah. If I turn off this, I look like Bradley. If I know, there you go. All right, guys. Thanks a lot for being here tonight, for being here today, and it's been a pleasure. Thanks, Marco. Thanks, Chris. And, you know, peel your eyes, peel your ears, because Video Powerhouse is coming and it's gonna swallow a market on its entirely. So thank you, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. For those of you that are on the mastermind, you will also have Marco, Chris, and I present over there, and the rest of you, we'll see you next week.
Yeah, I've got some good stuff for the mastermind guys tomorrow. So,
yep, make sure to
see you
join
tomorrow. Bye, everyone.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.